Hi there, I'm Justin McCabe for the Vermont Evaporator Company. Today we are talking about, and we're going to look at, the SureCube ZB reverse osmosis system. Let's take a look inside and see what we have. So it's going to come with a number of filters. This is your reverse osmosis filter. It will be packaged when you get yours. This is mine from a little unit. It comes with a restrictor valve. Set that off to the side. Comes with a removal tool for the filter housings and a sediment filter. Inside the box, so we have our pump. This is self-priming. We have our reverse osmosis, or this is our sediment filter housing. We have our reverse osmosis housing, and we have our UV filter. And the first thing we need to do is actually install the filters so we can use this to produce concentrate. So the first step is to take out the housings, and so that requires us to remove a bit of the tubing, as also some of the components in here. So I'm going to start by taking out the UV filter. So in order to do that, you press the tubing into the connector, and then you can pull out. You hold this little ring down, so you can see what I did again. So you can see I pushed in, and then it just comes out, right? So some of these are a little tight, so it might be a little challenging to get them out. They will come out. Okay, I'm going to detach those two. And I'll move the UV filter out of the way. Now our other filters are attached by Velcro straps. I'm going to remove the sediment filter first. Okay, and then this Velcro will come off. All right, so now we have our sediment filter out. We are going to unscrew the top. There may be a little piece of paper inside you'll want to remove for your first use. And then we're going to unwrap our sediment filter. Set it off to the side. And there you go. We do recommend that you replace this every season. This will really only be good for one season. You won't be able to reuse it. There's no sense in trying to clean it. So at the end of the season, you'll have to sort of reverse this process and uninstall, pull this back out, pull that filter out, and just throw it away and get another one. So those are available at Vermont Evaporator Company. So that one's done. We're going to set that off to the side because we need to get this other filter housing out, which is the reverse osmosis. And you can tell it's the reverse osmosis because it's going to have two smaller hoses coming out of it. Note the location here. So the blue one is going to the one more offset in your filter, and the red one is going to the one that's more along the center line. It's important because one has water coming out of it, and one will have concentrated sap. So you want to keep that straight, right? And you can tell it's the RO filter because it has those two there. So same process as before. We're just going to unscrew this. There might be a piece of paper in there. There's not in this one. You're going to insert your filter with the gasket side up and press in. You're going to take your housing and close it back up again. You just want to get that tight. Hand tight should be fine. It does have a gasket in there, so you should be good to go from there. All right, now we're just going to reinstall. So again, the orientation is such that the couplings are opposite your exit points. The red one is going to go on the off-center one. Make sure you get that seated really well. You'll kind of feel it go in. It should go in about a ½ inch or so. Go ahead and strap it back in and get it in there. Now that you've gotten it to your location, you don't really have to strap it in, but if you're going to move it around a lot, it's best not to have it bopping around. So just get it in there. This one in there. There we go. All right. Now we're going to install our sediment filter again. This one has the opposite orientation if you're thinking about where the top is. So it's going to go the other side. You can do the hoses. Like I'm going to do the hose from the pump to the sediment filter before I strap it in, just to give myself a little bit more room. And again, I'll just sort of press it in there. And again, you don't really need to use the strapping if you're not going to move it around a whole lot, or if you want to be careful. They should stay fairly in place. And now you need to reinstall your UV filter. So the orientation of this is such that the power cord is going to face your outlets. You're going to pop it into these clamps. The hoses are kind of self-explanatory because of the directions they go. Make sure they seat really well. And there you go. We are now connected. You may want to rotate that a little bit. You don't want to have them pinched or things too out of square, but that looks really good. All right. So as the next step, you're going to want to connect, before we start running it, we're going to need to get some power to it. So we're going to pull these power cords out of the box, right? Power and water do not generally mix. So we're going to take these out. The UV filter will have, this may be disassembled. So there's just a small cable that's going to come in and connect to this. Your pump obviously has a much bigger adapter. I'm going to connect to, there is an orientation to this. You can see it on the channel. It's got these little notches here, and you'll see which way it goes. And that just gets pressed in there. Okay, again, keep that outside the box. And there you are. So that gets you to the point where you're about ready to power it up. But what do we need? We need sap to go in, and we need water and concentrate to come out, because that's what we're looking for, right? So you're going to have some extra hoses with your kit. You're going to have 6 feet of white hose. This is your sap in. So you're going to put this in the appropriately named sap in coupling on the front. Again, make sure it's seated all the way. That's going to go into your sap bucket. Then you're going to take either your red hose or your blue hose. If you take your red hose, this is going to be water out. You're going to have 6 feet of this, and you're going to put this in here. Again, seating it as best you can. It's a great idea to save at least some of your water, because you want to flush the system after you're done using it for each day. So you can save about 5 gallons of it. This is also going to be pure water, very clean. So if you want to clean with it, use it for other things, you can obviously just save it and use it that way. And then your last step is to grab a blue hose. Now you're going to have 6 feet of this, right? And you need to put your restricting valve in the center of this somewhere. So we leave this as one length, basically, so you can make your own adjustments to how long you need it, whether it's short or long, or where you want your restricting valve to be. You're going to seat that into the concentrate out coupling. And you're going to take your restricting valve and put it on one end, and you're going to clip this hose somewhere. It could be up here if you want to use a restricting valve here. I usually put it fairly close to my bucket, so I would only put a short piece of hose on the after, but I've got long hoses here, so I'm going to have a little extra. And then you're going to put this on the other end here. And this is going to be, the blue hose is going to be your concentrated sap. So that's going to go, and you're going to want to boil that off, and you're going to make wonderful maple syrup.